Things that make you go, January 1997, Bellevue, Washington. Yes, there was no December 1996, sorry. Throughout the land, the femagogues are congratulating women for re-electing Bill Clinton. But as the evidence of Clinton's criminal activities mount, one can only wonder, when the backlash against women's rights comes, will this be used to justify repealing the 19th Amendment? Prick a feminist, find a fascist? To be female and politically incorrect in our society is considered cute. In males, it's considered almost a crime. Who is harmed the most by this sexist attitude? Feminists talk about men's desire to have children and men's reluctance to support children who are not their own, as though there was something wrong with that. Feminists write that all women should be supported by the state and no man should be able to claim any child as his own. Too bad. It's time for men to stop acting like a bunch of henpecked capons and stand up for themselves. Those are our terms, ladies. Take them or we will leave you. Trample someone's rights over big issues, and they will come back to haunt you over the little issues. In the feminist paradigm, not being catered to is tantamount to oppression. In America, white women have always been equal partners with men in the historic oppression of minorities. Could this explain the feminists' loud diatribes against men? Is it to cover up their guilt? In 1985, Lenore Weitzman gained fame by saying that following divorce, women's standard of living drops 73%, while men's goes up 42%. Recently, she admitted she made a mistake, that the numbers are really 27% and 10%. Wrong again, because non-custodial fathers cannot deduct child support payments, and women don't have to report them as taxable income. Women actually come out ahead. Most women don't know how to deal with rejection, while most men expect rejection. What will happen when the men of the Million Man March, remember when that happened, realize their issues are less about race than gender? The Million Man March was a million African-American men, and they were there marching on Washington, D.C., and it wasn't a million of them, but it was to protest racial discrimination. When actually, for these guys, it was mostly gender discrimination. They were being discriminated against because they're men. Shouting sound bites at one another solves nothing, nor is it a sound basis for making policy. Women commit almost 2/3 of the child abuse, yet most movies and television shows about child abuse portray men as the primary abusers. A man who spends each legislative session, this was back in 1997, in the state of Washington lobbying on behalf of non-custodial parents' rights, recently told me he had contracted the services of a firm that is run primarily by single mothers who give employment priority to single mothers. When I asked him why he would give his business to a company that discriminates against men like that, he said, they offer the best deal. Okay, from a purely free market business capitalist point of view, that makes perfect sense. But if men aren't willing to put their money where their mouth is, then how can we expect anybody to take us seriously? Really? One justification given for abortion is, it's her body. But genetic tests can prove the fetus is not part of her body. For many years, the average unemployment rate for men has been higher than for women, yet feminists claim men have an unfair employment advantage over women. Yeah, right. For the Backlash at Backlash.com, my name is Rod Van Mecklin.